Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Today, Sunday, battle lines had been drawn and daggers had also been drawn because there was going to be a face-off between Gen Z and politicians, and the biggest fight was going to be between the Gen Z and the President of Kenya, William Samoei Ruto. In their program, they had said that today they were not going to allow politicians to speak in the churches which they usually attend. But Kimani Ichung'wah had dismissed this generation, describing them as a feeble generation who get to the CBD using Uber, and they have iPhones. Then they run around, and when they are a little bit tired, they get to KFC and grab some crunchy snacks there, some pizza and all that. And with that, he painted for us a picture of a generation that cannot be taken seriously, a generation that cannot be feared, a generation that is non-entity.
Tangazie nikiwa hapa, mimi nilipiga yes na niliongoza wabunge 204 wa Kenya kupiga yes. Sababu hii finance bill, nimesikia wale wa Gen Z pia wakiuliza hii finance bill imeletwa na Ruto. Sio Ruto ameleta finance bill, imekuwa tambu. Ile kitu imebadilika Kenya ni mjadala umebadilika. Wale wengi unaona wakiandamana Nairobi wameshika simu ya iPhone, wanajiita Gen Z. Wanafika kwa maandamano na Uber. Wanatoka maandamano wanaingia KFC kukula kuku na minofu. Ama hamkuwaona? Muliwaona? Maji ni ile ya chupa. Hao hawajui kukosa stima ni kitu gani.
So Kimani Ichung'wah was talking very tough, and the Gen Z told him, wait for us and we meet on that day. But today, when William Ruto arrived at the ACK Nyahururu church, where some bishop was being consecrated, you would think that William Ruto had an appointment with Al-Shabaab. You'd think that he was expecting some terrorists in that church. The kind of security that I saw there, it was so much beefed up that you would not imagine that that security was meant for people who voted for William Ruto, people he called hustlers, people he mingled with, and he was buying banana freely and they were eating together. You would not believe that this is the kind of security you would give, the ordinary, you would give where you are going to meet just ordinary citizens. It is a real definition of a father who fears his children and has to come home with security in his own house.
Mama huku. Yes.
If you juxtapose the kind of security that William Ruto had unleashed there with the words of Kimani Ichung'wah, then you'd realize that William Ruto really feared this generation. It was real fear because these people, they saw them in their numbers on the streets, and they knew that it was not going to be business as usual. In the other churches where they were, the message was very clear: reject the finance bill, reject Ruto. And you realize that it is a luta continua. They are not giving up anymore. In fact, We were discussing this with someone, and I was like, who won? The Gen Z had threatened that they would storm Ruto's event. And then they did storm, security was beefed up, but then Ruto came with a whole contingent of police carrying the most sophisticated, you know, those guns and firearms. Who won? It is William Ruto who lost. Why? We've seen William Ruto going to churches, and we've never seen him beefing up security the way it was today. People are being searched. I don't know whether they felt that these people would carry some bomb with them. And so this generation has exposed William Ruto. That they have forced William Ruto to take like a whole state of security to be with him in a church where people are only coming but to worship. And then most of the people who are there are elderly compared to the generation that is threatening William Ruto. Have you ever imagined if that is the kind of security that would be given to our people in Baringo, the bandit-infested areas where people are being killed? You saw them killing a teacher. You saw them. They raped a certain student and killed. You know, those kind of people who go through a lot of tough situations, they are not given that security. But today, William Ruto, just because of a threat from children of the age of Charlene Ruto and below, his children are now threatening him to an extent that he's exposing himself. You know, William Ruto will soon start walking or traveling the way Museveni does. I've seen Museveni walking with a whole tank, not even with the policemen. At least William Ruto, I think, is being guarded by GSU or some special forces. Museveni is walking with it in the presence of military guys with a tanker as if they are going to war with another country. That is exactly where William Ruto is headed. Someone was telling me that Julius Kambarage Nyerere, the late president of Tanzania, used to walk freely with people, and they exchange notes, they would laugh, and they would be, as such a free man because he was never threatened. People loved him. William Ruto, do you remember how William Ruto used to mingle with people when he was campaigning? With the generation, alikuwa na wagotea, he would buy ndizi there, they eat together. But William Ruto cannot do that now. If he has to do that, then an advanced team of security would go before him, and almost half of the people would be selected where utaenda, after a lot of screening, where utaenda, so that when you go there, a half of the people are his, a quarter of the whole population that is there are security, just in civilian, and they will be, mingling with you, not knowing that they're security. He's not a free man. And why is he not free? He knows very well. If William Ruto knew very well that he was a free man, he wouldn't have carried that security. After all, he was coming to church. And this is a very sad state of affair, that a politician who just a few years ago was a chief hustler, was mingling with people, right now is now barricading himself. He's keeping people at bay just because people are asking questions. And the most interesting part of it is that the people scaring William Ruto, the people giving him sleepless nights, are a generation that is equivalent to his children. A generation that are only going to the street to ask questions, armed with the Mabango placards saying, reject Ruto, reject finance bill. If he has started all this, because this is just the second year after he ascended to office, how is he going to carry on for the 3 years remaining? And then how is he going to campaign? Because these are the people who will still need to vote for him. And now he is already, barricading himself. It is like he's protecting himself from them. How will he go even to mingle with them during the campaigns? It is becoming very funny. William Ruto will soon be left with the IMF, with Meg Whitman, with Joe Biden, so that they can mingle together, because Wakenya hawamtaki. You know what angered people is that kumbe wameweka hiyo bill ya kwamba ile ancestral land ile ulipewa na babako, the one that you inherit from your parents, is now taxable, so that when you don't even give the taxes, they can easily take it away. And I was reading deeper that this could be a ploy to take our lands, to surrender to Bill Gates, so that they can continue cultivating GMO. I don't trust this government. When they do something, there's always a motive behind it. Kimani could not believe that security was beefed. Is this the generation that is coming, you know, brandishing iPhone, and they are weak, and they just too tired to, they will go into some hotels to take chips? You know, this is an energetic generation, learned professionals in certain areas, different areas, and they can cause real threat to a presidency. You know, in most of the revolutions that are happening, it is the youth that always lead such revolutions. And this is what this government fears, because these are people who don't fear. I told you, if they are massaged, they are very constructive. But you provoke them, they can explode. They are explosive and very dangerous. And the direction that William Ruto is taking with them, if William Ruto pushes them to the wall, they will explode. They will explode. The way their people are being killed on the street, they will explode. And very soon there will be an enmity between them and the police. Watakuwa wanawindana mtaani, na unajua siku hizi tunakaa na polisi mtaani. It is going to be very dangerous. And so, ladies and gentlemen, in this match, Gen Z won 5-0 because William Ruto was forced to work with security, a whole security details. And that is my take.